Joining us right now via Zoom are the DG Oyetola Campaign Committee, Senator Jibola Bishir, as well as the Catholic Bishop of Sokoto Diocese, Bishop Matthew Hassan Kuka. Gentlemen, it's good to have you join us this morning, distinguished Senator.
Yeah, good morning. How are you?
We are all fine, thank you.
Good morning, Senator Bashir.
Yeah, Senator Bashir, I saw that you were very feisty on the campaign stump yesterday. How would you assess the chances of Governor Oyetola on Saturday?
I would say at the risk of maybe blowing our own trumpet that we are very optimistic that it will be a landslide victory in favor of Governor Oyetola and our party, the APC. In the past, couple of weeks, we have traversed the length and breadth of Osun. We have a campaign together with Governor Oyetola at every town and every community in the state of Osun. We have also knocked on every door through our door-to-door campaigners. More importantly, the work of Governor Oyetola in the past 3.5 years gives us confidence that Osun people will overwhelmingly re-elect Governor Oyetola. And what do I mean by this? Just as I said on the podium yesterday, Governor Oyetola has brought exceptional quality to public finance management in the state, notwithstanding that our state is 34 in the rank of allocation from federal government. Governor Oyetola has not only grown the IGR of the state, but he has also managed prudently the resources that we have, such that when you look at the Appropriation Act law of the state of Osun in the past 3 years, that he has been in the shadow, the capital expenditure aspect of that budget had been in favor of the people in terms of infrastructure. Contrary to what occur at the federal government level and even many states, you have a situation whereby more attention is paid to deliver infrastructure and the welfare of the people, whereas the governor is also not reneging in his promise to pay fully salary of workers, the pension of those who have retired, and of the 5 states in Nigeria where contributory pension scheme are introduced by federal government in 2011 is being implemented. Osun stands tall as one of those states. In terms of infrastructure, as I speak now, Governor Oyetola administration has a complete construction of 500 kilometers of tarred roads and upgrade of rural road of more than 5,000 kilometers. In the area of education, aside the fertilization of education infrastructure, the state also added 1,000 teachers to the workforce in that sector, while also increasing the retirement age of teachers from 60 to 65 or 35 years of age or in service, whichever comes first. And you also discover, contrary to what appeared to be the fad in Nigeria, a governor that has been in place for 3.5 years, and workers in public sector, in every aspect of public sector, are not going to strike for 1 minute, not to talk of 1 hour. This speaks to a leader that are listening to the yearning and aspirations of the people. And in terms of social intervention, not only is the governor engaging in school feeding program, is also engaging the youth through the Osun Youth Empowerment Scheme. And there is this novel idea of supporting vulnerable families, 30,000 of them in the past 15 months with food item on a monthly basis. And aside this, the governor has also supported the informal sector with interest-free loan through the state microcredit agency of sums in excess of 4 billion naira. So when you look cumulatively at this intervention, and also in the area of health, 320 primary health care centers were constructed and they were equipped with personnel and medication, as well as the payment of the workers in the health sector, ComHealth and ConHealth are fully paid in the state. So you have a governor that also attends to the primary purpose of governance, which is security, as provided in Section 14(2) of the 1999 Constitution. I would say that Osun is perhaps one of the safest states in terms of security in the state. So we have all this working for us, aside the fact that we have worked hard on very hard on our campaign, ensuring that we get, the message of what we have done, and that we're not just campaigning on the basis of promise. We are campaigning on the basis of solid implementation of what was promised the people of Osun close to 4 years ago.
Senator Bashir, okay, so all the points that you have just railed out about the achievements of the governor seeking re-election are noted. The governor, of course, there. Then let us also ask regarding the mandate by INEC to ensure that the election must be free, fair, and credible. Osun elections, most of the time, not just Governor Oyetola's first term, have always, been keenly contested. The eventual winners always, getting people heading to court, the opposition parties heading to court, challenging the election victories of the APC. What extra moves are you doing as the head of Governor Oyetola's campaign council? What extra moves are you doing to ensure a clean and square victory for the party?
Of politicians is for us to ensure that we campaign vigorously, and we enlighten particularly the voters on the need for them to exercise their franchise in a way that advance the development of the people. Yes, 2018 election keenly contested and was very challenging for our party. Eventually we won. But as of today, the status quo in terms of the last engagement of the two political parties in the 2019 election is in favor of our party and our candidates. In 2019 election, I may recall that of the 3 senatorial districts election contested, our party, the APC, had 2, of which I won with an overwhelming majority in 9 out of the 10 local governments in Osun Central Senatorial District, and defeated my opponent with votes close to 30,000 in just 10 local governments. Out of the 9 federal constituencies, we won 6 out of it, and out of 26 state assembly, at the opposition political party only won 3, and we won 23. So the status quo from the last engagement that we had overwhelmingly show that the party to beat in the next election coming on Saturday is our party, and that will not happen, because aside the tremendous achievement of Governor Oyetola, he appears to be the only candidate with necessary cognate experience in terms of what is bringing to table. You will know that Governor Oyetola has at least 30 years of private sector experience in area of finance and close to a decade and a half experience in public governance. None of the other about 15 candidates has such track record, and he has been able to resonate with the people. So we're looking towards, by the grace of Almighty Allah, a resounding victory on Saturday in the state of Osun in favor of Governor Oyetola and our party, the APC.
All right, Senator Bashir, in the last election in Ekiti, there were reports of massive vote buying, which was a great issue of concern to INEC and even those who were watching, even the election observers and so on. You are the DG of the campaign council. I wonder what kind of conversation you're having with your party members to ensure that from your own end, that everything is clean from that area, because INEC is restating its advice against vote buying, and we're heading towards the time where things like this usually take place in the past in elections. What kind of conversations are you having with your colleagues from your own end?
First and foremost, I want to say that I think the statement with respect as to massive vote buying in Ekiti is not grounded in reality. I'm a legal practitioner. I'm at the risk of sounding immodest. I'm a legal scholar. I have PhD in law. Vote buying amounts to inducement of voters is an act of criminality which by law has to be proved beyond, reasonable doubt. So I would not, agree on the premise of the allegations that there is a massive food buying by in Ekiti State. But what I also get, worried is that anytime my political party wins an election, there will be some form of a kind of naming the party in a bad light. If the election had been the other way in Ekiti, they would have said it is a hallmark of democratic governance. So why is it that it's only when my party, the APC, wins that people come with all kind of allegations? Fortunately, the candidate of the PDP even considered to victory. The runners-up, candidate of SDP, I'm aware, is in court, so I will not, want to go into details about what would come up at the tribunal. But what I want to say, and I'm emphasizing, is that we have enlightened voters in Osun to say that it is important for them to cast, their votes and should not allow anybody to mortgage their present and the future of their children. I am aware that there's a viral video of the candidate of the PDP, saying that he has come with pounds, dollars, and it is fire for fire. Our party is a party that is campaigning on the strength of the competence and delivery of our governor. We are campaigning on what we have been able to do in the context of our 3.5 years that we have had the opportunity to be, in SADU.
Right. All right. So let's also ask about your comment. As you must surely have been observing, there has been inter- and intra-party rivalry existing in the terrain in Osun State at the moment, even before now, especially towards the build-up of Saturday's election. Just recently, we heard of the fire incident at Mr. Lasso's house, at also a renowned lawmaker as yourself, and then another opposition candidate, Aki Ogubi. We also understand that his home was also razed on Sunday in Ile-Obo area of Osun State. What's the party's response to that? You're the ruling party, or you represent the ruling party in Osun State, and surely this must also be of interest to you.
From what I see playing out in Osun, it's going to really be a walkover for our party. And I would say that those people that you mentioned, yes, for instance, the candidate of the Accord Party was in the PDP and maybe joined the Accord Party to realize his ambition, knowing fully well that he's not are going to win, the primaries in his own political, party. Then also the candidate of the Labour Party contested primaries in the APC, and of course he got less than 500 votes because we conducted direct primary. I wouldn't know what much showing you will be able to have in the election. As for our party, the direct primary we conducted was won by Governor Oyetola with 222,000 votes, and the runner-up had less than 13,000 votes. We see that he has overwhelming support of the members of the party. In the plurality, in the plurality democracy, you cannot expect unanimity of members as to who carry the banner of the party. But I believe since February, when the primaries have been conducted, a lot of other people who backed, other aspirants had come into the fold and working assiduously and conscientiously in support of the emergence of a Governor Oyetola on Saturday by the grace of God.
There was a real photo finish in the last election, and a lot of attention was focused on the Ife area. What has the party done this time to make sure that those contentious ballots are securely placed on the side of your party?
I think the race for governorship in 2018 was a three-horse race. You have Senator Oyetola Bishir, a candidate of the Social Democratic Party, coming from Ife Zone. He is a two-term senator from that area, and of course, a former deputy governor. You also have Demola Adeleke, from Ede Zone, and our governor, the incumbent from Osun Central Senatorial District from Borikwe, local government. Naturally, you expect that there will be catchment, votes in the constituencies or the region of the candidate. And in Ife Zone that you mentioned, Sam, actually our party, notwithstanding that Senator Bishir is from that zone, came second, and the PDP came third. So even the areas where the run were held are from in Ife South. Our party won overwhelmingly in those places, and Senator Bishir today is the national secretary of our party, and is of course working seriously with other party chieftain in that place to ensure that we have a victory. I must also inform Nigerian public that the deputy governorship candidate of the PDP in the 2018 election, Honorable Albert Adeogun, is now within the fold of the APC, as well as Honorable Wale Ojo, acting chairman of the PDP. So you have a situation whereby the rank of our party in that place has become swollen. You also have former minister Oyetola also within the fold of our party in Ife Zone. So we have been able to expand the capacity of our party not only in Ife Zone but across the state.
It looks like the APC leadership now in Osun is not dramatic, if I may put through that word, compared to the past. Oyetola has been known for subdued rhetoric, more calm demeanor, and all of that. But was that responsible for some of the sense of financial stability in the state? You know, they were not paying salaries for long. Sometimes they were paying some half salary. Some people were calling it half SAR, and so on and so forth. Can you run us through how financial prudence has played a role in the governance of Osun in the past 3-some years?
Yes, I said if you listen to the clip that was played before this program, the high point of Oyetola's administration is actually bringing, brilliance, bringing integrity into public finance, management. You will see that notwithstanding the fact that the allocation from the federal government was not very buoyant, he has been able to expand the internal generated revenue of the state, and as well also ensure that there are ingenuity brought into public finance management. One of the areas where the state have been able to meet up with its expectation to the workers and also carry out infrastructure development is to engage in contract financing method as a means of galvanizing infrastructure development. In this regard, projects are only given in terms of procurement to contracting firms who have the capacity to use their funds to be able to carry through those projects, while the state pay on an amortized basis. So you have a situation whereby projects are delivered in advance of the payment, and the payment is done in such a way that does not affect the solvency of the state in being able to meet the current expenditure requirement. You also discover the situation whereby the budget is done in such a way that they are not just on paper. For instance, as I speak today now, 70% of the 2022 appropriation had been, there's already 70% performance of 2022 appropriation, which means that the budgets are actually realistic, they are not bogus, and this budget in the past 3 years have been more on the side of capital expenditure rather than recurrent expenditure. The advantage of that is that funds are made available for capital projects that have a problem, that have a prospect of catalyzing development, rather than bulk of the money being used only for recurrent expenditure, payment of salary, and overhead.
All right, Senator Bashir, at least I know you have gone round almost all constituencies and enclaves of the state. What are the issues amongst Osun residents and Osun indigents that would shape the way that they are going to vote? What do they want? What kind of a governor, what kind of leadership are they yearning for that is going to shape the way that they vote on Saturday?
Yeah, first and foremost, I would say that going from what we have met, I think the calmness and the very favorable and friendly disposition of the governor appear to endear the people of the state to the governor. Secondly, too, in many of the communities, many of the infrastructure that they were yearning for, the governor was able to meet. So some projects that had been thought that were not possible to have been done under his administration were embarked upon. For instance, the Ada Igbajo road project was last touched upon about 30 years ago, and this was done promptly by the administration of Alhaji Oyetola. Also, one of the first set of projects embarked upon by the governor was actually even in the homestead of the opposition candidate in 2018, that is in Okegada in Ede. And the governor was also able to address the road from Ede to Ejibo. As I speak now, the road from Lameko to Eniosun, Ilobu, and Ifon Osun is being attended to with very serious attention being paid to it, to the extent that even construction are carried on overnight. And you also see some of the township road also being addressed. Most of the places we went to, the people actually want road, they want health, and they want also education for their children. And the governor has paid serious attention to this. And in some of the places, attention is also being being asked in relation to empowerment and support for the informal sector. And through the microcredit agency of the government, the governor has been able to support the informal sector with sums in excess of 4 billion naira in terms of interest-free loan to support these small businesses. Of course, in every society, people want peace, they want security. Our governor has been above board in terms of being able to be a level-headed person, and I would say that he has not been embroiled in any form of controversy in the past 3.5 years.
Senator Bashiru, let me take you back to my earlier question, even though you answered, but I would also like to take you up further on the issue of security in Osun State ahead of Saturday's election. Even though no reason has been given officially for the fire at Mr. Ogunbiyi's home in Ile-Ogbo, there is substantial reports are saying now that Honorable Yusuf Lasson's home was attacked by gunmen, and he's also a key contender in the race. You're representing the Chief Security Officer, that's Governor Oyetola, who is also a candidate. So how much of a concern is it for you and your party ahead of the election?
In fact, on the so-called allegations of attack on the opposition political parties, if I can hear you well, I think our party had cause yesterday to write a petition to the police to actually investigate the genuineness of such allegation. We don't want people to play politics with issue of security. The reality is that some of these allegations, when investigated by the police, they will be able to know the veracity or otherwise of those allegations. But as a party in government, we are concerned about security of the people, and we have appealed to the people to be calm and civil. On the contrary, we have on tape leading figures in the opposition, PDP, making clear allegations, clear threats of violence, and I have, those tapes, and I can mention them. So if they make denial, we are ready to confront them with the tapes. Sonia Omiri, the candidate of the PDP in Ijesa South constituency, we have been on tape, making threat of violence. The same thing also for Lele Oyewumi, the candidate of the PDP in Osun West Senatorial District. We have him on tape, also urging, their supporters, to erect, violence. Even the candidate of the PDP himself, Ademola Adeleke, was out saying it is fire, for fire. For us, we have a state to govern, notwithstanding that we are in a contest. We want to appeal to all stakeholders that the governance of the state will be a matter of call to service, will not be a call that will be turned, to undermine security of the people, which is the basis upon which everybody will be able to carry out any other form of activity.